So in this video, we'll talk about the cost of not growing. I think most of the time people understand what is the results, what happens when you do grow. But not enough people talk about the cost of not growing and remaining stagnant and staying in the same place or doing the same things over and over. And that becomes really painful over time. So I'm going to break that down in four main parts, which I was considered the four main costs of not growing. The first one is you stay in the same environment. And last time we checked, no one wants to just stay in the same environment. Not actually, I take that back. Some people do, especially locationally. People are like, I love this town, or I love this city, or I love my community, or whatever it is, and they decide to stay there. But I'm talking more like mentally, right? You stay the same, you do the same thing, you accomplish the same thing you accomplished 5-6 years ago, and you're still doing the same thing. So the cost of not growing means you stay the exact same. And I'm not sure what kind of person that you are, but that sounds kind of painful, because as a person, you don't feel yourself reaching out for a little bit more and getting uncomfortable and feeling some of those growing pains, essentially. I think that's what keeps people really stagnant, is because naturally we all want to be comfortable. We want to stay where we are until something challenges us, I guess, to expand outside of our comfort zone. That's the first cost of not growing, is you get to stay in the same environment day in, day out and not change. Cost number 2 is missed opportunities. The more desire you have to remain in your comfort zone, you just miss more opportunities. Opportunities usually comes disguised as hard work, and I think most people have heard that expression before, and it's really true. And hard work just means you just are doing things that you would normally do, which is, once again, like I was speaking about, getting outside of your comfort zone. And some of those opportunities, not just like as far as job opportunities, like opportunities to like learn more about yourself. What do you enjoy? What do you like? What do I not like? And I think the more you're outside of your comfort zone, or the less you're outside of your comfort zone, the more you don't understand those things, right? It's like where I was born and where I grew up and where I went to school and where I end up working. All of those places for me personally, they're all different. So there's a bunch of different things that I learned along the way. Now, does everyone's life has to be that way? Of course not, right? But at some point, whether it's mentally or physically, you have to choose to get out of your comfort zone, because if you don't, you just miss opportunities to learn more about yourself, learn more about the world, learn more about your career field, or anything else that's out there that you actually could learn more about that could change the trajectory of your life for better. You'll miss out on those because you're consistently staying just where you are more comfortable. Cost number 3, the income ceiling, right? Which this is a part that excites everyone. Why? Because we live in a capitalistic society. If you don't make money, you don't have a good quality of life, at least on the financial end, right? So the income ceiling for you is pretty low if you choose not to grow. And I say that because ultimately what people get paid for in the job market is productivity. Like, the reason your job hired you is because they trust your ability to be productive. That means you're going to add value. Think about adding value that you don't have, right? Which means you need to acquire a skill set that you don't normally have, which means you have to get outside of your comfort zone. So if I can't get outside of my comfort zone, I keep making the same money day in, day out, month in, month out, year in, year out, because I'm not expanding my skill set. Therefore, logically, I shouldn't get paid more. And I know sometimes people are like, well, I've been with this company for X amount of time, so I should get paid X amount of money. And the thing is, tenure is not what people should get paid for. Most people pay on tenure because after you've been there for a while, you kind of understand the nuances of the company, how things are supposed to get ran. So you naturally acquire a higher skill set just by being there for a while. But that doesn't necessarily mean just because I show up and do what I need to do, all of a sudden I'm owed a promotion. And I think if you go about it that way, you'll be selling yourself very short. So the goal is, I've been here for a while, but I've learned a lot. So because of that, I know so much now that I can add value and make the company a lot more productive than it's been, which is, in that case now, you are owed a certain amount of pay increase. Now you've elevated the ceiling above you, and now you can reach it a little bit higher. So that income ceiling now, it's not as low as it was before. It's higher just based on your skill set and your ability to get outside of your comfort zone and add more tools to your tool bag. The last one is delayed life goals. Everyone has a bunch of things that they want to do, they want to see, they want to accomplish for their life. And I think the longer you stay in your comfort zone, it just keeps moving further and further and further back. It's like the saying of, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do it next time. And that next time should be now. I don't know if you guys have heard the phrase, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. You just got to start. And the crazy thing about starting is you don't have to have all of the tools to start. And people have this ridiculous idea of like starting something where they think like they should start it and it should work right away. That's never going to happen. Most things that people start don't work out right away. That's the whole point of starting something. So you do have to have that ability to dwell outside of your comfort zone for a certain period of time. And I think that'll give you the necessary skill that you need in order for you to live the caliber of life that you want, that you're hoping to live. So that delayed life goals, now your goal is within reach because I'm constantly outside of my comfort zone. So I'm getting closer and closer to that. But the longer you stay in your comfort zone, the cost of not growing just means your life goals gets pushed further and further and further back. And maybe you accomplish it, maybe you never will, which I think is one of the saddest things to say, but it happens all of the time. And the most amount of good ideas in the world is found in the graveyard, and that's because most people don't step outside of their comfort zone to be able to accomplish something like that. Hopefully this helps you get out of your comfort zone a little bit, start doing things like finding hard and uncomfortable things to do, because that's what's going to get you to that goal and get you accomplishing those things, so you don't have to get affected by the cost of not growing. Cool. Hopefully that helps, and I'll see you in the next video.